Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About It, another podcast about online schooling. My name is Mary, and tonight I have a very special guest, a familiar face at the familiar place, if I may say so, Mr. Luke. Luke, welcome.
Thank you for having me again. Pleasure to be here.
You're welcome as well. And of course, I have Anita here as my co-host. Welcome, Anita.
Thank you, Mary. Welcome, Mary. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome, Mary. There's an interesting story. Why did I say a familiar face place? I'm going to confuse these two words now.
Mary's rapping now.
It's been a long day, as always. When we started this podcast like three years ago, Luke and Tammy were my first guests.
Yep.
And when we switched to this studio, Luke was also the one who opened the studio, and we had the first podcast in the studio with Luke. So Luke has come again in the hot seat to share some interesting things about our school platform and whatnot. But before I move on to the topic of tonight's podcast, I would like to ask Luke and then Anita, or Anita and then Luke, how are you guys?
Good. I feel a sneeze coming on. I'm very well, thank you.
So this November, it's fall, we're approaching to winter season, and how things are going? Do you guys have a lot of work? New enrollments coming up, students finishing up their semesters and stuff like that. So
pretty busy business as usual.
Always busy.
Not complaining, enjoying it, but overall very good. Everything's under control, and we want more.
Okay, great. Looking
walk in
forward
a
to
park.
hear that. Yeah.
No, it's walk in a park.
Well, we know the drill. You know, it's our fourth year since we worked together. Third or fourth year, I don't know. It's been a long time since we're working together. So.
Fourth birthday.
Birthday.
I mean, anniversary at school.
Birthday. Let's call it birthday. Office birthday. So we can call it like that. Okay, so tonight's topic is online learning platform, but we have talked about the learning platform too many times. The point is that's the place where a student spends most of the time, and that platform has some features, has some calendar and other things that can help students significantly while they're creating their personal learning styles. As you all know, online school is not I was going to say is not obligatory. Online school is obligatory, but online classes are not obligatory. But students do have to work individually on the platform, and they're kind of on their own to create their own schedule, when they're going to log in and how long they're going to study, which is something different from traditional school setting. Many students are confused with this, and of course we have assigned tutors who help them to overcome these issues once they start. But we have Luke here, who is very familiar with the platform. Also, he has experience as a teacher as well, one of the most favorite teachers from our students. Later on, he was also head of high school, but now your skills were needed in some other area. So where are you now? Like, what are you doing now? Do you still hold classes or?
Nope.
No,
Fortunately
no
and unfortunately, of course, I miss all of my students. I miss having classes with them. But on the other hand, I'm very happy with my new position. I'm into consulting now, as you may know, and still taking care of technical things for our students, our online platform and such.
Which is great, because as a tutor, you have worked with different students and you're familiar with their study habits. You know, you can help them a lot when it comes to online learning platform, and that is exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. So let's start from the beginning. Can you explain us what would be the first thing that you would advise new student to do when they log into the platform? So they're just starting. They have just started our school. What is the first thing they should do when they log into the platform? What would you advise them?
Well, we are talking about students that join for the first time.
For the first time.
Well, first of all, logging in, homepage, you'll get the list of courses that are assigned to you based on your grade level, of course. And then in each and every course, there is a couple of modules that you go through as you make your progress through the subject. There is one module called resources, very special module, and in that module there is a lesson called getting started. That's a lesson to get you familiar with the platform. Basically, it's 13 pages lesson with 12 videos, one video in each page, and a greeting page, page number 1. They'll take you through like how to log in, how to send an email through the platform, keeping pace, going to classes, contacting teachers and such. So I would advise students to go through that lesson, through that video, through those videos, and get the basic understanding of the platform. Next thing would be making an appointment with your tutor for 45 minutes and asking to do those kinds of explanations live again. So we just set some base rules, we see how's everything working, and then later on comments to your studies, courses, and all the other work you have assigned there.
Oh, great, that's really great start, because I can only imagine what's going through their head, because in traditional school you're walking into a classroom, which is not a pleasant moment when you're coming to a new school. You're the new guy, and you're walking into the classroom. So, but this is also unfamiliar, because they're logging in and they have no idea what to expect. But one thing that we're really proud of, thanks to Accelerate Education, is that their platform is very friendly, easy to use, straightforward, and super great platform, if I may say so. So even students who are at, even our youngest students, grade 1 or even kindergarten, are finding their way through the platform, as well as our high school students. So I think everything is going well on that side. Anita, from your point of view as a consultant, although Luke is now a consultant as well, but you're a more experienced consultant, so do parents and students often ask how the platform looks like? And
all the time. I mean, because it's one thing us talking about a platform and hyping it up, and it's great, and we have this and we have that, and they don't see it. So usually during consultations, and I'm sure you've done that as well, like with students' initial classes and parents and everything, they ask to see a demo. So we have this demo, which is unfortunately quite slow sometimes, but that's because we have like everything on there and it is just a demo. And sometimes, like, I know in the beginning, like when we merged to Accelerate that platform, and I had no idea what was going on. And I was like pestering me, can you come join me and like show them like what they need to click and how to navigate around it. But it's so like straightforward, and I usually show them like the calendar. The calendar is like the magic little button that I say this is like your go-to guide, and it just makes everyone's life easier. Like you click the button, you click the day, you click the lesson, and it takes you to it. So they always want to see what it looks like, and I always think it's a good idea for them to see that, just so that they have an idea and they can get the demo link and play around with it, get a proper feel of it before actually making any
enrollment and starting.
Like,
And speaking of calendar, which is also my favorite tool or feature on the platform as well, Luke, what can you tell us about the calendar? Because we are telling to students and their families that this is a self-paced program, they can create their own individual plan, and now when they start, they have this calendar, like how they should observe that calendar. Is it something that is mandatory, they need to follow it strictly, or is it something they can be a little bit flexible with?
Well, that's basically a built-in tool that schedules your activities from day to day. Usually we assign courses to last for 5 months. That's the length of each of our semesters. And then let's say we use today's date, 28th of November, as a start date for a certain student. The end date would be 28th of April 2024. And now once we add the courses, the platform automatically assigns the number of activities you need to complete each day from your starting date until your end date to complete the whole program that you've got assigned. Now that's how it works, and if you follow that, you're not going to fall behind, you're going to make enough progress to finish when you're expected to, basically. Now, of course, if you don't follow a calendar, so for example, you've got a power outage for a day or two, you're not going to be graded zeros, you're just going to pile up overdue activities, and then you'll have to go back a couple of days, complete them until you get back on pace. Also, you can make a faster pace, go
Work ahead of schedule.
Yep, go ahead of schedule, that's right. And do as much as you want. So it's totally flexible. Yes, it is self-paced, as you said, but it just helps you be on the right path when it comes to
great.
to
So
your
it's basically
daily
like a
activities.
guidance, and I think it's
Yeah.
really helpful, especially for students who are first-time online students
Definitely.
and they have no idea how to schedule
Yeah.
their day. I think that this calendar can be a good reference on what to rely on, and as the time goes by, they will develop their own pace and they will know if they
That's
need a little
right.
bit more time for math or if they can prolong something in other subjects, which is really great. Do you have any feedbacks from students how much they use this calendar? Do you have any information about that maybe?
A lot of them are using it daily, and it's their guidance. It guides them through their program, and they're very happy with it because you can see, for example, on Tuesday I'm going to have a lessons only day, and then on Wednesday the quizzes awaits for me. So
They know upfront if they have a
yes,
quiz
that's
or,
right.
or
So there's
exam,
nothing to
which is-
stress about, like when the exam is gonna happen, when the quiz is gonna happen, or research papers. It's all scheduled there. You can see in advance. So yeah, I would say roughly 85% of our students are using
Great,
it each day.
that's really good.
Yeah, that would be my estimate on that one.
On average, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, and what happens when, we mentioned that some students go up front, and learn in advance. Does that affect the second semester, or the second semester is being added to the platform only after the student completed the entire semester?
Yeah, well, that depends from case to case. Usually we wait for students to complete the whole semester before adding the subjects and courses from the second semester. But in some cases, they just are speed running through math, for example, and they want to add that second part of math as soon as possible because that's what keeps them going, that's what excites them about a platform. Just for the sake of example, math.
Or if they're anything like me in our previous podcast, they just want to get math out of the way as soon as possible.
That might be another motivator. Yeah, you can always go ahead, but keep in mind that our program needs to last at least 16 weeks. So don't go under that. You can complete your program in under 16 weeks, but then take your exams on 17th week. So that's
Okay, and if I do,
for the sake of credits only.
Yeah, while we are at this topic, I think it's worth mentioning that the school has also established some more strict rules, especially when it comes to high school students, about their time frame in which they finish their high school grade. Anita, can you remind me, they cannot finish one semester in less than 3 or 4 months?
We give an average of 5 months,
Yeah.
so 20 weeks.
Correct.
My math's improving. Yeah. I'm just joking. I'm really not that bad at math. And we were told by Accelerate, so the learning platform, that they need to complete it within 16 weeks, not months, weeks. So that's 4 months on average, like the bare minimum. Now, previously, we've had students complete it in less amount of time. We fortunately haven't had any universities come up and say, well, why have they done that? But like I mentioned I think it was the previous podcast, it could happen that, someone is having a bad day in an admissions department and is looking at someone's transcript and saying, well, okay, I get it, you're a great student, but how did you finish this in 12 weeks and not 16 weeks?
Yeah.
Are you really that clever?
And they can ask for details from us.
And we, of course, have everything in our system. And thankfully, if worse comes to worse, we can, say, well, no, these are their records and this is their pacing, and they are actually working ahead of schedule, and that's why. We always say, just to be on the safe side, keep it at 16 weeks. And as well, it's not overwhelming for them either.
Of course, there's no need to rush.
But yeah, we say 5 months on average. That's just what our school does. But 16 is the minimum. We give that little bit of leeway in case they take time off, or they fall behind a little bit, or for whatever reason.
Great. And now on the platform, students also have assessments, quizzes, tests, exams, essays, I don't know what not, they need to work on. And depending on the grade, but especially for high school students, I believe that some of these assessments and assignments actually are really demanding, and they might not be able to complete them in a single day. What happens in these kind of situations? Like, for example, I'm a student, I started learning, and then I stumbled upon my next assignment is actually some essay or a short research that I need to do, and I need a couple of days to do so, but I definitely cannot stop learning right now because I'm in the mood of learning more rather than doing that essay. What should I do?
Well, yeah, that happens. Not a lot, but it does. For example, let's go with biology, and you've got to do a research project on biology to observe what happens. Now, I'm not too familiar with those projects, but they do have a project where they have to track the progress of something for 5 days. And that doesn't mean that you should stop everything else for 5 days until you're working with that assignment. What our platform offers is that you can submit the assignment empty. Usually will be graded with 0 points at that time, but then you've got an option to retake the assignment, re-upload it, and then you will be graded. So you can progress further with the subject, go with lessons and quizzes, and on the side work on your research project. Once you are done, you turn in your papers, you'll get the grade, and that will not affect your progress nor grades
Or
in any
overall
negative
grade,
way.
yeah.
It's just time consuming and
That's interesting to know, because on the platform they cannot do the next, like say they have that research assignment that takes a few days, and they want to give it some time, obviously they can't go on to the next one without completing that. So it's interesting that you said that they can submit it empty,
Better to submit it
but then
empty.
come back later
Yeah.
to it. And I think that's as well like what a lot of our students stress out about, because I've had like so many students come to me and say, well, I have this due, but there's no way I can do it. Can I have an extension or anything like that?
Yeah.
And then,
The solution is actually really simple.
right there.
It is.
I think this is the only type of schooling that allows you to surrender, to submit, to surrender
Surrender your
to
assignment.
submit the empty assignment, and then go back and actually master that assignment. You can actually get a grade A, even on that assignment, which is really, really cool. So guys, you heard it. If you stumble upon some tough assignment that needs a couple of days, or if you simply don't feel like doing an assignment today and you would rather learn a new lesson or do some quiz or test, just submit the empty assignment. You can always inform your assigned tutor or your tutor for a specific subject, but I believe that they are informed.
Yeah, plus there is a column
yes.
in the assignment where you can say, I will submit this later due to its time-consuming nature or anything else.
You can leave a
tutors,
message.
Having said that, don't submit it empty and then just leave it empty.
Make sure to complete it at
Come
some
back,
point.
because even if you try and play it cool, I've got passing scores I can do without submitting
It's
these.
going to remain a 0.
It's going to remain a 0, and teachers will come
Come back
and
and remind you about it. But all these assignments that you skipped, and that you got 0, and even if you forget about them, when you think about it at the end of the grade or at the end of the semester, it is a good thing that can be used to improve your overall progress and grades. Just go back to that and do it again.
Take it again, that's right.
Okay, so guys, if you're watching us, and you are watching us, you can freely ask us any questions in the comment section. If you have any question for Luke or for Anita regarding the platform or regarding the schooling program in general, if you have any specific, if students are watching us, hopefully they do. If you have any specific questions, now it's your time to ask Mr. Luke something specific. He cannot run away from his place until he answers you, so this is your chance. And even if you don't have a question or any impression regarding the learning platform and your experience as an online student, you can just stop by to say hi, tell us from what country you're watching us from, or anything else. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, send this podcast to somebody who might be interested in online schooling, maybe they will find it useful. And you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, and ask questions. And we have a first question. You see how it works? It works great.
Working like a charm.
Oh, sorry. It is Nikki Aslani. I think I have read.
My regards to Nikki, one of my students.
Okay. Hello,
Hi,
good
Nikki.
evening. I have no questions, but I want to say thank you to Mr. Sawyer. He always helps me and answers my questions as quickly as he can. He's very disciplined, kind, and professional. He blushed.
Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, I did. I can't
You can
cover
see it
that.
on the
All right,
camera,
good.
but he blushed. Yes, thank you, Nikki, for such kind words about Luke. We agree with you actually on this, and I kind of miss hearing you holding classes, because you were so enthusiastic.
Because like high school, and that's where like everyone just gets into those like online discussions, and all you hear is like Luke and 10 other students, no, it's this, no, it's that.
It's always a discussion, and you always have students who are feeling sorry because the class ended. They want to prolong the class, so
yeah.
an hour and a half for a class with Luke.
Too many times.
Okay, you know what we can do? We can do some special Education Worldwide special, like have a class with Luke and geography with Luke.
That would be great. Yeah, let's go back to world geography. Let's see what you learned. I remember all of your names, guys and girls.
Once in I don't know, 3 or 4 months, you know, like a special occasion.
That would be great.
Like a pop quiz. Okay, it doesn't have to be a quiz, but like a hot seat.
Why are you a party breaker? Always a quiz, like
yeah, we don't want grades. not here.
Quiz. That's impromptu class.
Yeah, I think that would be great, you know, to have some teachers who are not active teachers anymore, but they're in other positions, to just go back and do a couple of classes from time to time, just for the sake of all times.
Yeah, I would definitely enjoy one of those events.
Great.
We'll see what we'll do, but sounds great. I'll keep your word on it.
It's gonna grade them on it. We'll see what we'll do.
I expect tomorrow that one of our official emails is full of requests. Can I have a class with Luke? Can I have a class?
We'll put a suggestion box.
Guys.
But I remember that I think you had like a cameo, if I can call it like that, to Sophie's class, because she had some technical issues and you just jumped into the class, fixed the problem, say hello to the students and move away.
Things escalated. They're like, they all started screaming, "Who are you? We want to have a class with you."
Problem solved. She does elementary school.
There was a little brother of one of my ex-students. Yeah.
I think I know.
You know, you were their consultant.
Yep.
And he recognized me from the classes I had with his brother, and he was like, "This is Luke Sawyer, guys!" And they all started screaming and everything else.
It was.
You're kind of a legend among students. I'm sorry, I jumped.
I actually remember that day because it was for Prime, and that day I covered. It wasn't Sophie's class. It was someone else's class, and they had called in sick. So I covered, I think, the first English one, and then they had social studies with you.
Oh
and
my
then,
God, that's right.
With the Prime, they don't like leave the meeting. They just, when they have those breaks in between, and like we turn off our camera, and then like when we turn it on, like they're all there still talking like during their break. And then
that's right.
I said like, okay, now we have a new like special guest, like a new teacher for social studies. And then Luke came in, he's like, "I know Luke, he taught my brother. Hi, Mr. Luke."
Oh my God.
So you're
Good
having
times.
a serious fun base among students.
And I'm proud.
Okay, you should be. Great. Okay, let's go back to our topic.
Got a little bit off topic there.
Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about schedules and what should they do if they are assignments. And I also noticed one thing. Although I don't have a lot of students that I enrolled, because from time to time I jump into the consultation building business as well. I don't know what's wrong with me, as always. Consultation building. We should have one.
And then when you go back to the other, Mary has left the building.
Mary has left the building. Yeah. You know, like Fraser Crane, that's the show. In an
That's
intro,
a
it
good
says
reference.
Fraser has left the building. Okay, so let's go back to the topic. So, consultation, business, and so on. I have a lot of students who are, especially high school students, who are like forcing good grades, and they have excellent grades, like straight A students, but their progress is low, and we're talking about low. They're falling behind maybe even an entire month because they're focusing their attention solely on getting good grades instead of keeping up the pace. What would be your advice? Although I do think it depends from a student to student, from their personal, affinities and stuff like that. But would you advise them that they should take care of the grades since the beginning, or making sure that they're in time with the progress?
There's gotta be a golden middle in between. So not to give it your best solely to grades, as you said, but also to a pace. Pace is very important as well. As we said, you've got 10 months to complete one academic school year, 5 months for each semester, 2 semesters. And then in semester A, yeah, it might be like fun and games. I've got 10 months to complete everything. Then we are at month 5, you are at 75, 85 to 80% of your progress, straight A's, that's fantastic. But then you're going to step in the 6th month or the 1st month of your 2nd semester, leaving less time for your 2nd semester. Now on papers, that's 10 months. We can always extend, give an extension of let's say a month. Yeah, that's right.
But we like to
let's keep it,
it,
for 10 months, 5 months each semester. Also, you can, so for example, math, again.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know.
Our favorite topic.
Figure out you've got something with math. So the lessons and knowledge builds up. So it's not like if you're doing or history or geography for the sake of example. In lesson 1 you are going to learn certain material, and then in lesson 2 you're going to build up on that material, lesson 3 on that one, and so on and so on. So you will be constantly, in a way, repeating what you have learned until you reach the end of module and then take module exam. So go through the module. As we said, with the assignments you've got the same strategy that can be applied to your quizzes as well. So if you do a quiz and get 80%, go to the next lesson, complete the next quiz, because maybe next lesson will be 5 pages shorter than the previous one, meaning you'll complete it in less time and give you more time to go back and retake the quiz. Not that you have failed, but that you scored lower than you expected, and then you've got 3 attempts on each quiz, meaning that basically you can go over again and over again and over again until you get a satisfactory grade. So my advice,
Find the middle.
find the golden middle there with your pace and the grades. If you're failing a grade, then focus on grades, improve your scores, then continue on with your progress and such. But if you're
generally a good student and you are focusing on the grades, maybe it will be good to sacrifice your grades a little bit. When I say sacrifice, you're not having A+, you're having A- or B+, for example, but you're on your progress. And if you finish the entire semester in less than 5 months, for example, maybe you can use that 5th month to improve these grades.
Exactly.
That's also one of the things when we say flexible, they can.
Yeah, but also there's a thing that just came up to my mind. So we speaking math again. So let's say we're working on I don't know, exponents or something. So basically that's a 10-page lesson that you really got to read through, go through all the examples, figure it out for yourself or with your teacher. And then afterwards, you're going to take a 5-question quiz. That'll literally take you 5 minutes to complete compared to a 30-minute lesson that you're going to have previously. So go through, totally lost what I wanted to say, lost the point there. I want to say that
all this talk of math, see, I'm not the only one that...
We're talking about
social studies, not math. So it takes you less time to do the gradable work than making progress. I mean, both quizzes, assignments, exams and everything else is calculated in your progress. You're going to get that progress percentage improved once you complete everything. But there are more lessons than there are quizzes, so focus on keeping that pace up. You can always go back and redo your assessments to improve your scores, basically.
That's also good advice, so don't just trying to hit the straight A score on account of your progress, because it's important that you progress in time, because although they will have shorter amount of time for semester B, not only that, but even if you go in like even more extension at the end, the family will have to pay for additional months, right? So be economical to your parents as well.
Yeah, I mean,
this is why everyone has assigned teachers anyway, just so that they can track that progress anyway. And it's really important that, they do that on a weekly level
I think they send
anyway.
progress reports on a weekly basis now, so.
So, no one will need more than 5 months, but in the case that they do, like Luke said, you don't want it to eat into your full year.
Of course, but we do have individual cases where students have some specific obligations
or
when
they take
life
time
situations
off
when they
and
really
stuff
need
like
to take
that.
time off
That's
and
totally
need more than 10 months to complete the grade. So it's possible. And the good thing about online schooling is that you cannot fail the grade. You can just continue, not starting from the beginning. So you're just continuing from the point where you stopped or where you failed the first time, which is really good. But as I mentioned, this flexibility can sometimes be a pitfall for students who are new to this kind of schooling, And I'm glad that we gave them an advice on how to proceed in case they. And of course, there's a lot of other things that they need to take care of and keep in mind. But this is one of the things that bothered me a lot, because as I mentioned, I have a lot of students and I was always confused. Like, you cannot send even if you write to a parent, you're like, okay, you know what, they have a good grade, but their progress is really, really slow. So what's going on? Like, what's happening? You see that the student doesn't really have a problem with understanding, comprehending learning material or anything, because they're great at it, but obviously something is wrong. So okay, that's great. Luke, what are some other features that are useful on the platform that you would recommend to students to use them often and to, just...
Well, regardless of platform, I could say the most useful feature students can use is their tutors.
Features, okay.
That should be your first point of contact for everything. So, jokes aside, besides a built-in calendar tool, whenever you are stuck on the exponents in math, for example, you just don't understand that.
Looking at me when he says
math. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
I'm kidding. Stop. It's a running joke.
As I mentioned previously, in those resources folder, getting started videos and everything, there is video contacting teachers. So you're stuck somewhere, you don't have to wait to find the availability of tutor to make an appointment to go through a certain lesson and wait like for a full day or a couple of hours. You can reach out to your teacher directly from the platform, asking the questions you need an answer for. And it's not just that your tutor will answer, but a whole bunch of tutors assigned to that certain course will get back to you and provide some kind of feedback that will be helpful to you to continue through the lesson before you get a chance to meet your tutor or join a group class where you can ask questions as well to get that issue solved. So that's one way of doing it. Pretty useful feature of our platform as well. Plus, you don't have to explain anything like, hi teacher, I'm working exponents in math. I'm on page 17, paragraph 3. Once you send us a message through the platform automatically put all of those details, like this student sent this message from that lesson, that page, and that it really narrows down our search. We get back to you as soon as possible and hopefully get that problem resolved. That's another quick
That's what
feature.
I was going to mention as well, like that online forum where they can write and ask questions, and then it comes up on the Ailey Mail, I think.
Yeah, Ailey Mail.
Yeah.
She's in charge.
famous
Ailey's
mail, which is being monitored daily and frequently by our teachers who are
Even on weekends, it's like
even on weekends,
almost 24/7, 365 days a year. We've got our eyes on our mail, so we'll get back to you.
Of course, given the volume of emails that come into that account, maybe they won't be answered immediately, but I don't think students
Within
wait
30 minutes, that's
Oh,
like,
really? That's
like,
great. I'm surprised.
I mean, I usually tell students it's like a 24-hour.
Yeah, I also tell them
just
24
in case.
hours.
I know,
Just
but
in
when
case.
I'm on duty on weekends, just joking. Usually it takes. Well, it really depends on a course and on the workload for the person that's handling it, but it never goes over 24 hours.
That's
usually
why,
couple of hours. Best case scenario, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It really depends when you're checking it, because the people answering your emails are also in charge of grading your work.
Yeah.
So if they're currently grading, they might not be able to just switch to the emails, do the emails and go back.
Or if they're like in class or something
Exactly.
like that, they can't exactly say,
that's right.
hold that thought, let me just reply on an email. Or if, like, because we have all these different time zones and someone might write something where it's like 3 a.m. where we are, and I mean, unless you're crazy to do it in your sleep.
Of course.
That's why we...
Sleep typing emails.
We haven't developed that yet, but don't mention it out loud. I think Stefan will like it. So maybe people
Don't give him any
do it.
ideas.
Because he's always for the express customer support, you know. Customer cannot wait. Students cannot wait. So
Nor they should.
Yeah,
I mean, agree on that
again,
one.
jokes aside, but it's really something that you take a lot of pride of, you know, when it comes to.
That's right. I mean, it barely happens that students send us 2 emails on the same topic. They usually get an answer
Straight away.
straight away. So we get things resolved, which again differs us probably from some other online schools and everything else. Our workflows.
Not probably, definitely. I've had so many like meetings with parents where they said like, even once they've enrolled, and they said it's such a breath of fresh air, like that when they ask someone, we're literally at their beck and call. And again, not being biased because it's our school and we're very proud of that, but
it's also our podcast, so we can say a lot of good things about us in our
exactly. But it is what basically differentiates us from other schools is that they have that like personal connection with us, so it's not just a random.
I also got those kind of feedbacks where they, you know, they have a consultant on one side and they have a tutor. They always have somebody to talk to or to write to. And even if they write, you know, because sometimes parents are get confused, you know, like I'm getting asked questions regarding students' progress on the platform, and obviously I'm not familiar with that. But even if I appoint them to the assigned tutor, or even if I ask the assigned tutor directly, you know, they get the answer immediately, and they're very happy because of that. And I also heard that many other schools, we won't mention the names. It doesn't mean that we're the best. We're far from the best, but we're going through that, you know. But I heard that they have trouble getting in touch with school staff and getting answers, even the classes which are marketed as online classes, which are actually pre-recorded videos.
They don't have that so like connection. They get given a platform and that's it. And that's like what Luke mentioned, when they get their platform, and so many times as well, like not had a chance to show them because they just enroll straight away, and which is fine. And once they get connected with a teacher straight away, that's the first thing they do. They schedule a meeting. They get to know they get acquainted with their teacher. They get like a basic rundown of the platform, everything, and I think that makes such a difference that. Like, even if it takes a few days for them to get used to and whatnot, like they at least have someone there to basically show them how to work their way around it.
Yeah, I
which
mean
other
that
schools
guidance is really important. They
don't,
know that
yeah.
they are not alone. Okay, we have Sophia. I believe it's pronounced Marku. Her last name. She says, "Good evening. Thanks
evening.
for opportunity to be part of the meeting today." Thank you, Sophia, for joining us. If you have any questions, I'm not sure if you are a student or not, because we have nearly thousands of students, so it's impossible that we know everyone by their name. So if you're our student, thank you for choosing Education Worldwide as your schooling choice. If not, and you're considering to become our student, we are at your disposal, so you can ask us any questions maybe here, or you can contact us through the contact details that are listed in the description of this video. And again, thank you for watching us, as well as to everyone else who is watching this podcast. Again, I will, Sophia is the mom. Hello, thank you for trusting us with the education of your child or children. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And while we wait for your questions, I'm going to continue to question Luke about some other things. So, okay, what happens? And do we have any, I don't know, instrument to measure how truthful were students while they were working on their assignments? Do we have like a time frame that they need to, and if they complete it faster, it's like, you know, something fishy over there?
Yeah, we've got everything. As I said, I'm working on technical, not just issues with the platform, but everything else. So I've got all kinds of reports I can get my hands on. One of those would be in measurements of time you've spent in each activity on your platform. So when I see someone completing a quiz, just for the sake of the example, in like
3 seconds.
Yeah, maybe 12 seconds,
It's
5
impossible.
questions, and it's just not possible. Like then a teacher, your tutor would contact you, go through that a lesson associated with that quiz, ask you verbal questions, and basically see where you're at with your knowledge. Besides that, you can, as a student, always ask for any kinds of reports you like. It's like a progress report or a late count activities report to see in each course the number of activities that are behind the pace you should be following, average grades, everything else when it comes to those kinds of reports. So we can closely monitor individually for each student their progress, their pace, their devotion, and tailor the program, adapt our program to it. Maybe if someone's working way more in math and then less in language arts, we can maybe, I don't know, stretch a math a little bit so they got less things to do. I don't know why I keep doing that. They've got less things to do in math.
Become a habit.
Yeah, my God, I'll see.
Face it, you're going to be looked like directly whenever we mention math.
That
or
I'm the person that doesn't know math. Like,
No, you know math.
I
Guys,
know.
the
And
disclaimer:
please,
she's
to
pretty
all
good in math.
our viewers.
Okay, so we have an interesting question from Sophia, because her daughter is enrolled, and she says or asks, I would like to ask in regards to the quiz when my daughter had to do. Sometimes she just completed quick, and after instead to save is just tick, which is not allowed to do again. What should we do? Oh, she probably didn't save or submit if I understood the question correctly. So sometimes she just completed quick, and after, instead to save, just tick, which is not allowed to do again. Or maybe she submitted and didn't save that.
Maybe?
Marked it as a completer, but didn't save
that's
the
for the
progress.
lessons. The quizzes, you've got two possible scenarios in quizzes. Once you get to the end of a quiz, you've got a blue button with white letters, depending on your theme of the platform you've set, which says submit your answers. Once you submit your answers, the whole activity assessment is submitted. If there are no enter the text questions, the platform will automatically grade based on select the correct answer methodology and give you the score for it. And then on your quizzes, you'll get 2 more attempts, even if you have a passing score. But the feedback, in a way of showing you the correct answers, it's not going to be shown unless you use the number of available attempts.
Oh, so you need to use the number of
Yes,
available.
to get the feedback on what were the correct answers. Because if you get what were the correct answers in the first time you retake the quiz, you get 100. Not fair, in my opinion, and that's how I've set up the platform. Go ahead, go ahead. No, you go ahead. I'm about to cough.
Take a water.
What if in like an opposite scenario, if they're not going through it quickly and they're taking their time, does it time out and like
It times
kind of
out
log
you
them
after
out?
40 minutes of being idle, yeah.
so 40 minutes is like
Yeah.
okay.
If you're 40 minutes
Or
idle,
just like
it
staying on the
logs
one
you
page
out.
without clicking next page.
Yeah. You can even stay on the next page and just shuffle through the answers. That will not count as an idle.
But
Oh,
what
okay.
about in the case that someone's taking an exam and they're going through and they're reading and maybe they're writing notes or something? Does it time out after 40 minutes or is that just for quizzes?
That's for all kinds of gradable.
So 40 minutes without like moving the
Doing
mouse.
anything.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, so if they're
That's
like
right.
moving the mouse and that
Just
type of
click enter a letter, delete a letter. You're not idle. The platform will recognize you are there. But there is an option save and exit.
that's
And
what I want.
then,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Does it
So
save
you've got-
automatically if it logs you out or it doesn't?
No, it doesn't save. It'll submit your answers like you submitted. You've got
Empty
20
assignment,
questions.
right?
You're stuck on 12 for 40 minutes. You're not basically doing anything. Signs you out.
Yeah.
And then submits your exam with the number of questions you completed and gives you a grade based on how many correct answers you had.
Yeah.
But what you can do, you can save and exit from a quiz, for example, and then later on, once you get back to a quiz, you'll have a continue button and takes you to the place you left off from.
And is it possible, because you mentioned that they have 3 retries or 2 retries after their first try. Is it possible that it happens that sometimes those other retries are not automatically available?
Nope.
No,
Under
so-
no circumstances the platform is going to block out. If it happens, of course, reach out to your tutor, but it's automatically set for you to have 3 attempts. You take one, and then once you complete that and go back to that quiz, you'll have a start, and then 1/3, 1 out of 3 attempts used, and then you take it again and again if you want to, and you can get a 4th try, a 4th attempt.
You took the words out of my mouth.
I got my math lady. So, yeah, you can ask the question. I'm going to pretend I didn't say anything.
No, I was just going to ask what you
Yes,
started saying.
yes.
If for some reason they make a mistake and accidentally attempt like 3 times, what happens in that case? If they say, I want a 4th time, like, can we...
Well, we'll see. So, for example, there are many scenarios here. Basically,
He's our platform guru, so we have to like ask him
I'm
information.
gonna hold this
Can we have a
information and it's
4th
getting
retry?
out. So yeah, I can basically manually click on allow retry for a certain activity for a certain student. But before I do that, I've got submission history window where I go and see
What they did.
what they've done in previous 3 attempts, and if it's a legit request to have for a 4th time, because having 3 times, that's
I don't
believe
think
enough
anyone
for
in
us
the
to-
history of education worldwide has ever had like a 4th retry.
Yeah, for
It's
some
usually
reason.
like 1 retry and then
Exactly.
for a quiz. Yeah.
You get what you did wrong. You go back to a lesson, read through it again.
Read the comments, the feedback.
Exactly
yeah.
right. Yeah, you'll get everything. You retake the quiz, and hopefully you get the higher grade. I mean, we are in the same team with our students. We
Yeah.
want them to congratulate us for being such a
Welcome to my
wonderful,
brain, how I function.
I wanted to say that we all want for them to graduate as fast as possible with the highest grades possible. So we've got the same mission. We can do the technical stuff, the teaching
Exactly.
stuff, the classes. They've got to lift the heavy load. It's on them. They are the ones completing it, but we got their back as much as we can.
Okay, Sophia, I hope we answered your questions. Actually,
bit of
question.
time
If we
as well.
didn't, please write to your assigned tutor tomorrow and explain to them in detail. I'm sure they will help you. But as you have heard, if it happened for the fourth time, actually, if they submitted for the third time and they are not satisfied with the grade, or they submitted an empty assignment, they need to ask personally for the fourth retry, and we usually allow them, but it depends on Mr. Luke. But since you joined our podcast, you will have some protection here. So
that's right.
Mr. Luke will allow even
5
if he
attempts.
retries more if necessary, but let's hope it won't be. Okay, great. And I also had like literally 10 minutes before we started this podcast, I opened my email and I found a question from a parent. Won't name them right now, but we'll answer them tomorrow. But if they're listening to us, they will get an answer. So here's the issue. So her daughter started working on some assignment or something like that, and out of a sudden, some bug or issue happened on the platform. You know, it happens from time to time, and it logged her out. And I have actually no idea right now what happens in these situations. Maybe the progress is not saved, or so. What happens in such situations? Do we go back and give them another retry on that, or do we accept what they have submitted if they did? Like, what are the options in such situations?
All right, I recognize you said an assignment. So when we say assignment, it's actually a worksheet that you've got to fill in with stuff you've learned in a previous lesson or a couple of previous lessons.
Like extended response.
That's right.
All that, where they type.
But the thing with the assignments, those worksheets, is that you download them. So you're not inputting any answers on our platform. You download the sheet, you use your Word or papers or whatnot to fill it out with answers, and then you upload it to a platform. So working in assignments, even if it logs you out of the platform, you can always go log in, no progress will be lost. If that happens during a quiz or an exam, that's where you should contact your tutor or consultant to inform them about the situation. And of course we've got understanding for those kinds of things. I mean, how many times we had power outage or bad connection, it logs you out. We know what happens, and we would give you another attempt on the activity or any kind of assessment you're working on.
Those kind of things are technical issues that although do not happen often, but we have to count that they can happen.
Usually if students are using VPNs or anything else, or they just didn't update their browser or the platform. So always make sure you've got the latest versions of your tools.
Another technical advice maybe, because if I remember very well, sometimes students do not log out, or even if they log out, I don't know, something they don't do properly, and they do not see their progress, their own progress on the platform. They're using, like, I don't know, cache memory or something like that, whatever. Yeah,
delete your cache memory once in a month. That's depending on the browser, basically 3 to 5 clicks with your pointer, and it'll make sure that everything will be stored, nothing will be lost, and you'll always have access to all your work.
Okay, great. So Sophia says, okay, thank you. Was empty 2 questions. That why she was worried. Explained that, I'm sorry, I'm having heart here. I mean, literally heart emoji here, so I cannot read your entire question. Explain that, I suppose it says next time or something like that. Okay, Sophia, it's really hard for us to understand what seems to be the problem, but if it's not a problem for you, maybe your daughter can take a screenshot of the said assignment, send it to her assigned tutor, and we will fix this issue tomorrow, and you'll get a detailed explanation, because right now we cannot was not enough.
Mrs. Sophia can also email me, since we're all here. Or you
can email Luke.
Yeah, Luke at EduWW.net.
Yes, Luke.
Sorry, Mary.
No. Okay, I will write it down. Oh, should I write it down? Everybody will write it.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Well, I mean, you said it now, so it's a bit late.
Okay, so you can write to Luke at
I can do this already.
Luke at EduWW.net.
Or we can write here
like
on the admissions.
But instead of admissions, you have Luke, L-U-K-E. Did I spell it?
Yeah, you did.
You don't need a retry.
I don't need a retry. Great.
That's right.
Okay.
Now I'm curious what's going on with it. I would get my hands on my laptop.
Yeah,
to figure it
tonight.
out. Tonight.
Let's fix this. But we promise we will fix this issue. There's no need to worry, even if she submitted something. I mean, she cannot do anything wrong, but we can always give her another retry. Or, as Luke mentioned, he has insight into everything that she has done, so we can return something to its own place or whatever, so we can fix this. Do not worry. But thank you for bringing this issue up. It really helped us get into a deeper into this topic of what happens if it happens, and obviously sometimes it can be really important for students. So it's a good thing that they know. Okay, Luke, do you have anything else to add based on this topic or regarding this topic?
I had a
lot of
or
things.
two in my mind. But I'm thinking about that issue now, so
So forget it.
off. Yeah,
Let's finish this so I can go work on this issue.
So to sum it up, follow the calendar. You'll never be late. Don't stress too much about your grades. You've got multiple attempts. You've got understandable and reasonable tutors that'll help and really go an extra mile if needed, when needed. Reach out to your teachers whenever you get a chance. Join as many classes as you want. That's what I like to say now at the consultations I have. Like, take the advantage of everything we're offering. Like, if you got the chance to book 8 classes, go to 8 classes. Take every single thing you can.
Take it and run. That's what we always say.
Right.
I mean, it's always the best case scenario if you really take everything that we offer and
Yes,
use the
that will
group
make
classes, individual
everything easier
classes,
for you.
contact your assigned tutor.
That's right, every day.
You know, even if it's for a short consultation, you're doing fine. You're great. Your progress is great. Your grades are great. Everything is going okay. You know, just book a 50-minute meeting with your assigned tutor. You know, just to check in and see what can be done additionally. Maybe, they can help out with something else. You never know. Just
a word of advice, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, Anita, do you have anything to add based on what we have talked?
No, I think
what did we talk about?
How
what didn't we talk about? Hey,
we're gonna have some math trivia next time. You're probably,
we'll tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we definitely need to bring Miss Bo here because she's a math expert. Yeah. And the way she talks about math, I think we mentioned this numerous times in
She makes it sound nice, but again, we're going off topic with math.
She's talking about math, like, and even some complex things, like the way we talk, about everyday things. And you're like, oh, really? Like, you're that confident with such ease,
That's true.
So it's really great. Okay, so if you guys don't have anything else to add, I would like to wrap things up. Okay, so thank you everyone who watched this podcast. As I mentioned at the beginning, like, share, subscribe, send this to someone who considers online education, and take the advice that Luke gave you and simply use everything that we mentioned in this podcast. I'm pretty sure it will improve your learning experience and even grades or progress on the platform. And whatever you need, feel free to reach out to your assigned tutor, because online school is simply designed in a manner where it's not the teacher who always reaches out to you, it's you who need to reach out to the tutor. I mean, tutors will eventually reach out to you, but it's better that you ask them yourself. Again, thank you for watching us. We will see you next month. I think we will have something special for the next month, which will be like the 3rd year since we're doing this podcast. I think it's fair, and since it is the end of the year, maybe, I don't know yet, but we will have some surprises. So thank you for watching us. Enjoy your evening, or I don't know, the day, depending from which part of the world you're watching us, and bye.